It's been a while. This is YouTube Medical University. Suddenly, let me ask you, have you started to feel a bit scared to look at your health checkup results after turning 40? Don't you ever feel that way? Like when the doctor says, your blood sugar is a little high, or let's watch your bad cholesterol. Hearing that, some of you may feel down and think, I guess I have to cut back on my favorite sweets. I'll be honest, I love sweets too, so I completely understand how you feel. But if, as a doctor, I told you, actually you can go ahead and eat snacks, you'd be surprised, wouldn't you? In this lesson, rather than calling snacks bad, I'll show how small changes in snack choices can improve your blood sugar, hemoglobin, A1C, and cholesterol. You can improve those numbers. Let me show you some great snacks easily found at convenience stores. By the time you finish watching this video, I think your idea that snacks are something you have to endure will be completely turned around. Snacks can impact your health. The fact that you clicked on this video shows you care about your health. That's a great first step, so let's keep learning together until the end. Today, in our first session, I'll explain the medical reasons snacks can be your ally. Next, I'll reveal the top 5 divine snacks carefully picked by a doctor that you can find at convenience stores. And in the third session, I'll introduce the 3 rules for effective snacking that will boost the benefits by 120%. At YouTube Medical University, we diagnose and treat diabetes, as you can see. As an active physician, I share key health info simply to help you make health your ally. Before you forget which channel this is, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe. This is the first lesson, but your common sense may be wrong. Let me briefly explain why snacks can be your ally. First, there's an important fact I want you all to know. That is, enduring hunger might actually be bad for your body. You might be thinking, really? Many people think you can only lose weight or lower blood sugar by going hungry. However, actually the time between lunch and dinner, if there's a long gap like 8 or 9 hours, our bodies actually enter a kind of starvation state. If you eat dinner all at once in that condition, your blood sugar will spike rapidly. When that happens, our bodies release insulin from the pancreas to lower blood sugar. The hormone is released at once, causing blood sugar to spike and then drop sharply. And this creates a blood sugar spike, like a sharp peak in your blood sugar levels. Actually, these blood sugar spikes themselves can damage your blood vessels, whether you have diabetes or not. In other words, it's been found that they increase your risk of future heart attacks and strokes. So the old tradition of having a snack at 3 o'clock actually makes sense. There's a possibility. About 3 to 4 hours after lunch, right when your blood sugar starts to drop. Today work is busy and it looks like I'll be eating dinner late. Having a good afternoon snack around 3 o'clock helps at times like that. You can prevent overeating at dinner and also keep your blood sugar from spiking, and choosing a high quality snack for your 3 o'clock snack time can actually help prevent your blood sugar from rising after dinner. It acts as a kind of breakwater, which is called the second meal effect, meaning that the snack you eat there helps keep your blood sugar levels down after dinner. There are some foods that you can expect to have that kind of effect. In other words, strategically eating wisely chosen snacks is not a bad thing at all, but actually becomes a very important ally in building a healthy body. Isn't that eye-opening information? First of all, if you now understand that snacks are not necessarily bad, that's already perfect. However, that doesn't mean you can just eat snacks whenever you're hungry or at any time. Instead, let's be mindful to strategically choose healthy snacks when there's likely to be a long gap between meals. So, in this first lesson, we talked about how long periods of hunger can cause blood sugar spikes, and that wisely choosing snacks may help suppress the rise in blood sugar after dinner. So thank you for waiting. Now I'd like to introduce the top 5 amazing snacks that doctors seriously recommend and that you can buy at convenience stores. I'll also explain the medical reasons why these snacks are good for your body, so please look forward to it. Top 5 amazing convenience store snacks. Number 5, tofu bar. You all likely know about salad chicken and imitation crab bars. Recently, tofu bars have appeared in convenience stores and supermarkets along with other new products, and they've started being sold recently. So what's so great about these tofu bars? Well, they're made from soy protein. In other words, they're rich in soybean protein. Sometimes you just don't feel like eating something sweet, but you're a little hungry. That's when tofu bars are perfect for you. Soy protein actually has the effect of lowering low-density lipoprotein cholesterol, also known as bad cholesterol, and this has been reported in several studies. So I think it's perfect for people who are concerned about their cholesterol. For example, let's say you get hungry in the evening and give in to your hunger, eating a 400-calorie sweetbread. If you could replace that with a tofu bar usually contains about Since it's about 100 calories, you can save around 300 calories. If you keep this up for a month, you'll theoretically lose about 1 kilogram. So, replacing the sweets you tend to eat with a tofu bar is very effective. Plus, tofu bars are rich in protein. Protein basically requires energy to digest and helps you feel full longer. It's expected to help prevent overeating, so it's also ideal for when you get a little hungry. Top 5 amazing convenience store snacks. Number 4, Zero KC Jelly. I often do this myself, but when I really want something sweet, I go for this Zero KC Jelly. Honestly, Zero KC doesn't provide any nutrients or benefits for blood sugar. There aren't many products that actually contain something really effective for cholesterol. That's why I ranked it 4th. You can already see the benefits of this product, right? It's 0 calories, which is a real advantage. However, since it contains artificial sweeteners, eating it at every meal isn't a good idea. I hope you'll see it as something to eat when you're a bit hungry, as a substitute. Grabbing ice cream at a convenience store when you want something sweet is usually around 250 calories, right? But if you hold back and don't eat anything instead of having ice cream, you might end up overeating at dinner. That happens often, right? At times like that, it might be important to have some Zero KC jelly to fill your stomach a little. But if you've listened to the first lecture and studied, you'll know that if you don't take in any calories at all with your snack, your blood sugar will drop and then spike at dinner. So my recommendation is to fill your stomach with this 4th ranked Zero KC jelly and then eat it together with the top 3 products I'll introduce next. That's the method I recommend. Top 5 healthy snacks you can buy at convenience stores. Number 3 is Greek yogurt. Recently, it's often featured as a health food, so I think many of you already know about it. Greek yogurt is a bit firmer than regular yogurt, and it's characterized by being rich in protein. There are even reports suggesting that consuming fermented dairy products like yogurt may actually lower the risk of diabetes. And the abundant protein in yogurt helps with insulin resistance. In other words, it addresses the condition where the hormone insulin, which lowers blood sugar, becomes less effective. It's even expected to help improve that condition. In particular, what I especially recommend is unsweetened Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt is sugar-free, high in protein and nutrients, and highly recommended for its balanced nutrition. Additionally, it may reduce diabetes risk and improve insulin response, making it easier to lower blood sugar. If you tolerate dairy, I highly recommend it. And as I mentioned earlier, protein helps slow down the rise in blood sugar levels after eating. That's the effect we can expect. This is called the preload effect. It refers to the effect of loading protein in advance. So for example, if you have an hour before dinner and you just can't wait any longer. At times like that, if you eat something like unsweetened Greek yogurt, your blood sugar will rise more gradually and your hunger will ease. So I think it can also help prevent overeating. Give it a try. If you have yogurt recommendations, share them in the comments to help others. Top 5 convenience store snacks. Number 2 is this. It's unsalted nuts. On YouTube Medical University, I've recommended them constantly. Some of you might even be tired of hearing it, but I still can't leave them out. These nuts really contain essential nutrients. Even summaries of multiple reliable studies demonstrate that eating nuts impacts key diabetes markers such as hemoglobin A1C and fasting levels, and blood sugar when you're hungry. There are several studies reporting improvements, in other words, reductions in these values. And especially, walnuts contain omega-3 fatty acids, which are healthy oils, and these can lower low-density lipoprotein. They also have the effect of lowering bad cholesterol, low-density lipoprotein cholesterol, and there are even reports that people who consume a lot of walnuts have a lower risk of future vascular problems, such as heart disease and stroke. What I recommend the most are unsalted dry-roasted nuts that come in small packets. I recommend nuts. They're delicious, so it's easy to end up eating too many, but if you eat too much, that can actually be a problem in itself. Nuts are high in fat and calories, so eating too many may lead to weight gain. I suggest buying small packets of dry-roasted nuts to help control portions. That's what I always recommend to my patients during consultations.
Please let me know what you think after trying them. They're quite filling, so when I eat them around 3 o'clock,
I can work hard until dinner without getting hungry. Here are the top 5 convenience store snacks. Number 1 is this. Protein bars and protein drinks. You might be thinking, aren't protein bars and protein drinks just for people who work out? But actually, that's not the case. Even among the elderly patients who come to my clinic, more and more of them have started drinking protein recently. After you turn 40, your muscle strength gradually declines. When your muscle strength decreases, your metabolism also drops. This makes it easier for blood sugar to rise. So keeping muscle mass helps regulate blood sugar. which is very important for your health. Those kinds of things. In that sense, I think protein supplements are the easiest and most efficient way to get protein. The reason is because many protein bars and protein supplements can be stored for a long time, so you can stock up on them. Keep them on hand, and it's easy to choose to eat them when you're busy or a little hungry. Of course, it depends on the product. The carbohydrate to protein ratio is good, with protein being over 4 times higher than carbs. Most bars have about 200 kilocalories and 15 grams of protein. I usually have protein shakes or bars for breakfast. I don't have much time in the morning. If I oversleep and skip breakfast, you'll get hungry in the morning, your concentration will drop, and if you go too long without eating until lunch, your blood sugar will spike, making you feel sleepy after you eat. That's why it's really important to get some protein in the morning. If you have about 15 grams of protein in the morning, it's very effective for making sure you get the amount of protein you need in a day. In other words, it's great for maintaining your muscles. It's generally recommended to get at least 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight. So if you weigh 60 kilograms, that's 60 grams. It's actually pretty hard to get that much protein. So getting 15 or 20 grams of that from protein supplements is very effective. Despite your efforts with dieting, your blood sugar has become easier to raise each year, and your hemoglobin A1C has been gradually rising. For people like that, you may be trying hard with your meals, but often low protein and reduced muscle strength cause your blood sugar to rise, even if you eat the same meals. Don't forget to keep in mind that relying on things like protein supplements and maintaining your muscle mass can help keep your blood sugar levels stable. This is a review of the second period. Here are the top 5 snacks you can get at convenience stores chosen by a doctor. 5th, tofu bar. 4th, 0-calorie jelly. 3rd, unsweetened Greek yogurt. 2nd, unsalted roasted nuts. 1st, protein bars and powder. Try these for your health. What healthy foods do you eat? Share in the comments. As you can see, keeping your blood sugar at the right level is not only important for preventing heart attacks and strokes, but also for preventing complications from diabetes. Complications of diabetes. There are various complications such as eye disorders, kidney disorders, or blood vessels in the legs or arms becoming blocked and causing necrosis. Once these complications develop, your quality of life can decrease significantly. There is a video where someone openly talks about the difficulties caused by these complications of diabetes. The person is a former professional baseball player named. It's a video of Mr. Shigeki Sano. I myself learned a lot from hearing the stories of patients and realizing just how much they have struggled. Worried about diabetes complications? Watch Mr. Sano's video in the description or on the card. In the 3rd lesson, choosing snacks wisely matters, but so does how you interact with them. I suggested eating around 3 o'clock, but I really want you to avoid late night meals. There are various rules about how to eat as well, so please make sure to follow those rules. To help you see snacks as allies, not enemies, I'll share 3 golden rules. Just remember these rules and you'll be set. The first golden rule, aim to have your snack between around 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. Actually, our bodies have a protein called brain and muscle aryl hydrocarbon receptor nuclear translocator, like one which works to store fat. The time when brain and muscle aryl hydrocarbon receptor nuclear translocator, like one is at its lowest, is actually between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. In other words, the food you eat during this time is the least likely to be stored as fat. It's the golden time. And as I mentioned in the first lesson, there's the longest gap between lunch and dinner, right? If you don't eat anything and your blood sugar drops, it'll spike after dinner. So, consciously having a snack between 2 and 4 o'clock might be a smart choice. Here's the second golden rule. The amount should fit in one hand. It's tough to remember the exact grams of everything you can have, right? As a guideline, a serving is about the size of your palm. For nuts, it's what fits in your palm. For yogurt, it's about a cup in one hand. Remember the palm rule. It also makes it easier to gauge how much to eat. Tofu bars or protein bars are typically about the size of your palm. That's right, snacks aren't bad in themselves. In the end, any food can be harmful if you eat too much of it, so overeating is what's bad. In other words, you can eat a balanced amount. Even with diabetes, you don't need to avoid eating entirely. There's nothing you absolutely can't eat, so don't be too hard on yourself and find balance. The third golden rule, make the ultimate snack by combining foods. Even if you keep rotating through these top 5, eventually, you'll probably get bored, so make sure to enjoy your meals. After all, we're not living just for the sake of being healthy. Health should help you enjoy meals, find joy in activities, and feel happiness. Instead of avoiding everything, try enjoying snacks in moderation. For instance, crush some nuts and add them to Greek yogurt. but it turned out very fragrant and tasty. I couldn't introduce it this time, but frozen blueberries, for example, are also rich in fiber and protein compared to other fruits, so mixing them into yogurt would be delicious. By combining them like this, you can not only get protein, but also vitamins and minerals, fiber, and even good quality fats. You can really make a healthy snack. In the past, I've released a video called Breakfast to Lower Blood Sugar, and in that video too, I introduced things like overnight oats and tasty combinations that you can enjoy while keeping your blood sugar. I also share meals that won't spike your blood sugar. Remember to consider breakfast, not just snacks, and check the description box. How was it? Perfection isn't necessary. I'd be happy if you could try even just one thing that you think, I can do this. Switch your usual snacks to smarter, higher quality options. These small choices you make once a day will protect your health 10 or 20 years from now. And finally, I have a question for all of you. If you were told you don't have to hold back anymore, what snack would you choose? Sometimes eating what you truly want is important for your heart, maybe once a month or as a cheat day. It's important to have a day to enjoy your favorite snack, even if rarely. Share in the comments if there's a snack you secretly crave. I'd love to know. Potato chips, pizza, anything works. I also look forward to your comments. At YouTube Medical University, we share fun, simple videos to help you get healthier quickly. I'd be happy if you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new videos. And whether it's a thumbs up or a thumbs down, if you rate this video, I'll use your feedback to improve. Thanks for watching to the end. See you next time.